We live in an ever-changing, high-speed, what can you do for me now, trend-driven, insincere cesspool of the mind. What's popular today is nearly guaranteed to be lampooned tomorrow. Year after year, the amount of biggest of all time, best ever, or unforgettable type events are normally and mostly forgotten. Content is queen, and buddy, there's content aplenty. However, we have found the rare exceptions, the light in the long tunnel of the mundane, the silver lining to life's eternal dark clouds. For let it be known that every year, in the historic and epic land of the rising sun, there is still a reason to believe in there being good in the world. Beginning in the dog days of summer and burning bright for 3 weeks is the tournament for which all others shall be judged. The combat of warrior queens who are starving for opportunity of simply bettering their previous runs for some. For others, it's the prestige of simply lacing their boots and trying their best. And for a select few, it's the honor of forever being associated with greatness. To walk the same queen's road that few other fighters have braved, etching her name onto the eternal pages of wrestling history. They call it the 5-Star Grand Prix. We call it our favorite time of the mother effing year. It is time. It is August, and we are ready for some tournament action, baby.
I'm ready to run through a wall.
Welcome to Wrestling is Her. I'm your host, Raja, and I'm joined by my 5-star co-host, John.
5 stars, baby.
And we're here to do all of the previewing for the 5-Star Grand Prix 2024.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah.
Feels good to be back.
It feels good to be back. It feels good. I'm excited.
It's the greatest time of the year.
Listen, it was going to be the greatest time of the year anyway.
Right.
But then they had to go and...
Oh, they had to go and spice it up.
Up it.
Absolutely.
Auntie got upped.
Blow everything out of the water.
Just...
including my mind.
Set it on fire and stomped it out and set it on fire again.
My goodness gracious.
Boy, howdy.
We have so much to talk about.
We have a little bit to talk about.
So, if you don't know what the 5-Star Grand Prix is, and you're hoping to find out some information here in this episode, that's what it's here for.
Yes.
To help you. So, the basics. The 5-Star Grand Prix is a round-robin tournament, much like the G1, or if you watch Western wrestling, like the Continental Classic from AEW last year. It's that sort of tournament with the same layout. There are 4 blocks this year instead of 2 like every other year that this tournament has happened.
Right.
So this here, in the 13th year of the 5-Star Grand Prix, it has been going on since 2012.
Yes.
So we're in the 13th installment this year. They have decided to split the Red Stars and the Blue Stars in half. So we have Red Stars A, Red Stars B, Blue Stars A, Blue Stars B. Each block has 7 participants for a grand whopping total of 28 wrestlers, the largest 5-Star Grand Prix in Stardom history.
And compacted.
Yeah, absolutely stacked.
Yes, yeah.
It is compacted, yes, because this year, the 5-Star Grand Prix is taking place over the course of only 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Rather than multiple months.
Right.
As in past years. And that is due in part to the fact that they are dedicating every single show, every single one of the 13 events that it spans, will be solely dedicated to tournament action.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going to be fast-paced.
Amazing.
It's going to go by in the blink of an eye.
My God.
And I cannot wait for it to start on August 10th.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be so good. At the Yokohama Budokan is always a fun time.
Yeah.
So
it's just amazing. Just thinking about how it's all compacted, like you talk about, and the width and breadth of it. I mean, it's just unbelievable because you're going to have these incredible matchups.
Oh, yeah. Like, all of the crazy matchups come from the 5-Star.
Blow our minds. They don't give us these crazy matches through the year. We get great matches. No. But there's matches that happen during the 5-Star.
Yeah.
That you have to wait around for a 5-Star.
Yeah, because they've never happened before.
Right.
there are a few of those happening on the first night that we've never seen before.
Is crazier. I know they always make the first night crazy.
Yeah.
This first night is like the first night of first nights. Like,
it is. And we're going to go completely in depth about everyone in the tournament, all of the first night matches,
new factions,
the full schedule, all the story that has led us to this point, and how everyone is coming in, where they're at, their mindset, all of that fun stuff. If you want to keep up with the 5-Star Grand Prix, number one, you're going to have to sign up for Stardom World, because they are streaming every single tournament night this year live on Stardom World, except for the first night and the last night, which will be pay-per-view.
I mean, this should be.
And you can follow the Stardom Twitter account. I also suggest following the English Stardom, We Are Stardom account, because they post the international pay-per-view links. They also post every single show when it's happening in multiple time zones. So it's very easy not to miss one.
They X a lot.
They do. They put everything out there just for you. And the English one's much easier to keep up with, and the Japanese one puts out so much content constantly.
They really do.
But the English one is very good for international viewers who just want to see, like, when's the show happening, what time is it starting, where can I watch it?
Right. And I'm so excited, and we're going to keep up with it as well. So
yes.
There's another way to keep up with it.
Yes.
Or to know more about it. Why don't you tell them about that?
Absolutely. We have a written version of the 5-Star Grand Prix guide and preview, which can be found on wrestlingisheard.com right now as we speak. It's a full written article that goes over all the same stuff we're going to be going over in this episode.
And it's broke down very nicely by my co-host here.
And it also features a set of brackets that you can print out and fill out yourself if you are the type that likes to pick the tournament before it even starts.
And we invite you to do that, and also share your picks.
Yes, we want to see.
Yeah, tag us on X, on Instagram, wherever.
Yes. At Wrestling Is Her. Let us see what you think is going to happen, what your bracket looks like. We're like totally pumped to see what everyone thinks is going to go down, because there's so many wild cards in this year's 5-Star Grand Prix. It's insane.
It is unreal. And we're going to put ours up.
Yes, absolutely. We always do a bracket.
Raja has went beyond. She just went beyond with this article. It's amazing.
I wanted all the information out there.
It's incredible, and it's easy to look through. It's easy to find out what kind of information you want to find because of the way the links work.
Yes.
But it's also cool with the brackets because there's nothing that's muddying them up. No, they're clean brackets. They just have the names, and then everything's empty, so you can fill it in, and it's got row to put all the points in, and there's even the bracket for the after block action for the little playoff style tournament they're doing afterwards, because this year the top 2 competitors from each of the 4 blocks will face off in a kind of secondary tournament, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, to see who wins the tournament. Okay, well, enough of this. Let's get into it. Starting off with who's in the 5-Star Grand Prix this year. Who is in the 5-Star? We're going to start off with Red Block A, Red Stars A. That's that feels the natural place to start. It does. So first and foremost, representing Enex's V, we have Maika, formerly the World of Stardom champion. Yes. Until just recently. Just very recently. Because of some pretty crazy things that happened. A little bit. So Maika's coming into this tournament. This is her 5th 5-Star Grand Prix. It's hard to believe. She was a finalist in 2023. Last year, she faced Suzuki in the finals, which was a pretty big deal. Yeah, it seems like if I remember correctly, she was kind of upset on that one. A little bit. Yeah. But it did ultimately lead to her winning the red belt instead of Suzu, so it shook out anyway. Yeah. So coming into this tournament, Maika is obviously dealing with a lot. She lost the World of Stardom title. She lost the Artist of Stardom titles, and she was betrayed, which there has been a lot of happening recently. Yeah. Saya Kamitani, who she thought was a very good friend of hers, and maybe they'd even win the Goddess of Stardom tag team titles together, betrayed her and cost her the red belt to Natsuko Tora. So coming into this tournament, it's going to be interesting to see if Maika uses that as motivation to push herself to the finals, or if she lets it get the better of her and it totally affects her performance. We've seen emotions really affect her previously, and I mean, there was a time when matches were not as important to her as her emotional output.
Absolutely. And she is an emotional person.
Yeah.
And she's strong, so she can get scary.
So I don't know. She's going to have to we'll see how much she's grown.
Yeah, it'll really show, I think, in the first couple matches what kind of mindset she's working with. She didn't seem like...
Yeah.
After the betrayal, she didn't seem totally bothered by it, but maybe that's because she was just so focused on this Artist of Stardom title match
Even
that
that.
she just was trying to keep it out of her mind. But even there, they lost.
It was so strange.
It was a weird night.
I thought about it. I thought about it when she lost the belt, and then when she lost the artist belts.
Yeah, it's a big switch up from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, she's coming into this tournament 2 weeks difference from losing that belt, then 1 week difference from losing the artist belt to the start of the tournament.
To being on a losing streak in a
massive way.
In a group that is kind of
falling apart.
falling apart with a couple of people not even there.
Yeah. She's not going to have all of her support behind her because Hanako and Mina have both left to go to America for the duration of the 5-star.
It's kind of insane.
And her other team members also in the 5-star. Xena has her own things to worry about. So
and they've already had their fight.
Oh, yeah, they definitely did. I mean, they made up afterwards.
But in a competitive nature, if it comes down to it, they're not going to have each other's back. They're going to fight.
Right. So it feels like a very lonely Maika.
It does.
Going into the tournament.
So weird.
Next, we have Hazuki in Red Stars A in her 6th 5-star Grand Prix. And she is, of course, the wild heart of Stardom for very good reason. And her most notable performance was in 2022, where she scored 14 points. She's never made it.
A lot of people had their huge year that year, didn't they?
Yes, they did. There's a lot of high scores that year.
Wow.
She's never made it to the finals or anything like that, but this could potentially be her year. I find it very interesting that she's in the same block as Konami, who is the one that cost Hazuki and Koguma their Goddess of Stardom championships by blasting Hazuki over the head with a chair in order to win that match.
That chair that made you go, that wasn't related to that chair.
She knew where that was.
It was exact. She didn't have to look twice, did she?
No, she just reached under there and grabbed it.
Like it was right in that home spot where she left it.
And that was the moment that spurred, that was the catalyst to starting this whole hate thing that's happening right now.
So you think Hazuki has a receipt for that chair?
Oh, absolutely. I think Hazuki, that match, Hazuki versus Konami, is maybe it'll be saved for the end of the tournament, but I think it's...
I'll tell you, if I had a Katy Perry of this tournament, dark horse. Sorry, you gotta work with me, folks.
Yes, you have to just go with it.
Yeah, if I had a dark horse of this tournament, it's definitely Hazuki. And it's a shame that in 2024 we have to refer to her as a dark horse because she's so good.
She is, and she deserves the world. And we won't even have to wait very long for that match against Konami because it's on August 12th. So 2 days after the first day of the tournament.
Well, I'm excited about Hazuki's chances.
Me too, and I can't wait to see what she does in this tournament. Next, we have, representing Hate, Ruaka. This is her second 5-star Grand Prix. Her only other performance was in 2021. She scored 0 points.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting case because Ruaka totally blew her chance to be in the 5-star Grand Prix.
Which we didn't understand at the time, and as always when we're watching Stardom, we gave it a chance. Yeah,
because in her qualifier match against Yuna Mizumori, she used her black box to bash her over the head and disqualified herself. So, bye, you're not getting in the tournament. But then, after Natsutori won the World of Stardom championship from Maika, she decided the 5-star Grand Prix was not worth her time. So she wasn't going to compete. Instead, she was going to give her spot to Ruaka.
Yes.
To do the dirty work for her.
Almost like Tora knew.
It's almost like it was pre-planned that way.
Tora knew something might go her way in that match.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't very long before that match that Ruaka did this craziness. Why would you intentionally give up your spot to be in the biggest tournament of the year unless you think maybe there's going to be another chance for you to be in it again?
Yeah, very strange.
So Ruaka's just one of those that, she might play spoiler here and there for people in her block, but I think she's kind of just there to fill the spot at this point.
Yeah, I think that she might be there to weaken down people she needs to.
Yeah, she might be like coming in there with that box.
She's totally, I mean, don't undersell her because she really is a spoiler, man.
She is. Next, we have Natsupoi, representing Cosmic Angels, of course, in her 5th 5-star Grand Prix, coming in as the Wonder of Stardom champion and the Artist of Stardom champion, alongside Tam Nakano and Saori Ano.
Talk about somebody whose year has changed.
Oh my gosh, so Natsupoi is on a high right now.
Yeah.
She's calling this the Summer of Fairy Awakening, because last year the whole Natsupoi revolution didn't quite go
Not
her
so
way.
well, no.
But this year she is coming in as a double champion. She has a lot like riding on her shoulders right now, and I think it's going to propel her. She's got all the momentum in the world to do amazingly in this tournament.
And she's so skilled, and something has changed in her, be it coaching, be it whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, something has changed in Poi where there's a confidence around her.
I think she feels that she has really found her place, especially within the Cosmic Angels framework.
Well, you know, when she first came back from injury, I was worried.
Yeah.
She was not the same.
She had some rust.
She was tentative and even said as much.
Right.
And, you know, there's certain things I'm not going to do anymore. There's,
right.
You know, but
she seemed to be holding back
as it went on, almost training others. Again, when you teach others, you learn more.
Right.
And she got this confidence and this air about her. She's amazing. Like you said, she's on a run right now, and she is the rightful.
Yeah. She is the heart and soul of Stardom, in my opinion. And she's recently come off this whole story where she's basically lifted Saori Ano out of her depression after losing the Wonder of Stardom title and then gaining it back and then getting that match that she's been waiting for all year.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a fun ride.
It's beautiful.
And I think it's going to benefit her a lot. Next, we have the turncoat herself, representing Hate, Konami, in her 6th 5-star Grand Prix. She was a finalist in 2019, and she's kind of been making some moves.
I think Tony Schiavone could describe her in the way that I would like to describe her, but I will not do it.
Yes, so Konami's turn on Syuri recently to lose the Goddess of Stardom titles to then Oedo Tai was kind of the first real move in this whole formation of Hate. It was what kicked off the whole shebang, even though it might feel unrelated. I don't think it is.
No.
I don't think her and Saya Kamitani are mutual things that happened.
No.
I think it was all one grand plan.
There's a lot more going on.
There's so much going on. So Konami has this new look, this new attitude.
She looks amazing.
She's terrifying.
Yeah, she looks amazing.
And I cannot wait for her to bring that to the ring in all these singles matches. I think everyone in her block needs to be very careful.
Oh, man, you got to be scared when you face her anyway.
Yeah.
But
because of those kicks.
Facing her like this.
The real Konami, as she calls herself.
Well, yeah. You know what? Okay.
She looks scary, and she feels like a threat. So
I think she's going deeper than she's ever went.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she makes it at least to the final tournament after block competition, after everything that she's done this year. Next, we have Manami from Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling in her debut performance.
Rah.
Manami is only 19 years old. She's a young, fiery competitor.
She's an old soul.
She's former junior Sendai Girls champion, 2-time Sendai Girls tag team champion. She's no slouch. Like,
no.
When she gets in the ring too, she's super fun.
Yes.
Super fast paced.
I can't wait for all of you to see Manami. The ones who don't know, you're going to come out of this tournament loving Manami.
Yes. And if anyone in this block was going to play spoiler, it's going to be the person that nobody in Stardom really knows that well. Like,
dude, she
could pull out anything.
She is phenomenal.
She really is.
She's just fun.
She's a
fun.
joy.
and her matches are fun, but also, aggressive.
Just wait till you hear the woo.
Yeah. she's something.
She's so much fun, and she's a total unknown in this tournament because she's never been in it before.
I'm looking for a couple of wins, man.
I think she'll definitely pull off a few at least.
Yeah.
And finally, for Red Stars A, we have Miss Yuna Mizumori of Cosmic Angels in her first 5-star Grand Prix. And Yuna has, I think she's proven that she is able to hold her own in the ring. She has a vendetta now against Ruaka for slamming that case over her head.
She's come so far, man.
She has. And after everything she went through just to make it into Cosmic Angels, it's clear that she's able to push and like persevere even under pressure.
It's crazy with everything she went through to get into Cosmic Angels. She now pretty much controls the babies, as we like to call them.
Yes, she's like the steady hand of Cosmic Angels. She's always there. She's always supporting. She's there when they need her. She does amazing in the ring. She
cleans. She does. I mean, seriously, in a ringside type of way.
She does.
She's always there to lend a support, to get the crowd going, support, to love, to cry, to hug, to put ice packs on.
Yes.
And to teach.
Cosmic Angels wouldn't be the same without her.
No, she is a backbone.
She is. And I think some people are going to feel the tropic justice in this 5-star, especially Ruaka, who deserves it.
I feel that if you haven't watched Yuna Mizumori and really given her the go, like if you don't watch a lot of house shows, you're not going to see Yuna at her best.
Right.
You're not going to see some of these 10-minute matches with the lariats and some of the aggressiveness that she has. She has comedy, but she has skills. She does.
She's hard hitting too, like surprisingly.
She's a throwback level hard hitting and style. It's more of a ground-based style. It's heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And it
does the work.
Yeah, it does the work.
And we love her for it. I don't know how far she'll get in this tournament, but I'm hoping she at least gets a few points on her belt.
She's going to light some girls up, I can tell you that.
She'll be a hard out, but... So let's move on to Red Stars B, the second half of the Red Stars block, beginning with the Stardom icon herself, Mayu Iwatani, representing Stars in her 11th 5-star Grand Prix out of 13. Like, she's done 11 in a row.
Yeah. And she's still underrated criminally, in my opinion.
Absolutely. She is the winner of the 2018 5-star Grand Prix, and she's coming into this tournament as the IWGP Women's World Champion, which she intends to hold on to for as long as possible. She wants to be have the most defense record in the IWGP stable of championships, which means she has to beat Okada's record that he currently holds. So she's on the warpath to do so. And when you get in a singles competition with Mayu Iwatani, you better be ready to fight, because she comes to win.
2024 Mayu Iwatani.
Oh man.
Has had some of the greatest matches.
Absolutely
in Joshi
matches.
history.
Like, she started the year off with that banger against Syuri on 1-4.
Yeah.
There was the match with the best friends, the one against Saori.
Yeah. Like,
Mayu's been killing it.
She really has.
All year long.
And the rest of the time, anytime you're seeing like a Stars, and we've talked about this before, a 6-man, an 8-man, a 10-man.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You're going to see like some of the highest level technical timing.
Yeah.
That it's unbelievable. And it's just always in shape, always ready to go.
Yeah, and when the bell rings, she turns on and she doesn't turn off again. Like, you have to watch yourself.
And she's one of the nicest human beings I've ever met.
Absolutely. She's so kind.
Yeah.
I met her when they were in Philadelphia, and I got a picture with her, and it was like the best moment of my entire life.
You talk about an aura.
Oh my God, she's so sweet. Like, we even had to wait on her to get out there because I guess there were problems, but she was like so apologetic and nice about it. And
just an aura around her. It wasn't like other people.
No, it really wasn't.
It's, I don't know if you heard the Angels.
Yeah, I think I did. But I kind of blacked out.
I thought they were somewhere in the back. Just like
it's crazy though to see the way she goes in the ring, because like her super kicks, her drop kicks, her moonsault, her frog splat, everything she does.
Basically, her selling is unbelievable.
Yes.
Her offense is vicious.
It's terrifying.
and her skill set is unmatched.
Yeah, and then if you get to the point in the match where you awaken Zombie Mayu, it's just another whole thing entirely.
We'll see it.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling we will. Potentially on the first night. Next up for Red Stars B, Tam Nakano, representing Cosmic Angels,
Boy,
the
this
leader
one's
of
changed
Cosmic
a lot.
Angels.
Let me tell you guys a story. Can I tell them a story?
Absolutely.
We were watching the most recent event, and if you haven't seen it,
On 8-4.
shame, we all know your name, because you could have been thinking, well, this might just be the house show before the big event starts.
Right. Nothing's going to happen.
Sort of shoehorned in between pay-per-views.
Right.
And in pay-per-view.
Yes.
You know, well, it wasn't like that at all.
No, it wasn't.
8-4 was, to me, a landmark date. I even said that night, I was like, I'm going to remember this date.
It's kind of like the beginning of something. It's like the beginning of the chapter.
It felt like we thought that things had been reset.
Yeah.
But this felt...
We thought Stardom the Conversion was the reset. But no.
No. This felt like the stamp. This felt like we finally got out of where he was, where a committee or whoever was scratching things out and putting new things to the new book.
Right. It's like we had the end of the story at Stardom the Conversion, then the epilogue after that.
Right.
That kind of like filled in the details, and then now we've hit the new story.
Yeah, because it was all just banging. And one of the things that was going on through the night is we started talking about Tam. We love Tam. We also met Tam. Tam is another one with an aura. The aura that Tam has makes you instantly fall in love with her.
Oh my God. She's so pretty and sweet.
TV, for some people, and some people say this about people, but it's just pillow talk. It's not real.
Right.
Sometimes people say, well, TV does them no justice. You'd have to see them in person, or, you know, Tam Nakano is the living embodiment of, unless you have met her, there is no way I can describe properly how everyone in a room can fall in love with her at the same time and believe that she is falling in love with just them.
She's just standing there in front of you and you're like, who is this angel? What's happening?
I'm taking a picture of her as she's looking down.
Oh,
and you know, she's smiling, and in my heart, it's at me.
Of course.
And you look over and you're like, did you see that? Right at me. I'm like, God dang it.
She blew me a kiss.
I know. I tried intercepting. Here's the thing, though. We were talking about Tam, and it was like, because she was sort of lost in the shuffle. She was, and it's been like this. She's been very happy for her teammates.
Yes.
But this whole summer has been about Soriano and Natsupoi and in the Cosmic Angel faction. And it's been about other ladies in the red belts.
Yeah.
You know, it's not been about Tam.
No.
Tam, when Tam returned from injury, now mind you, she went down as the lady.
She did. She had the red belt when she was injured and had to give it up.
And she, to my knowledge, she didn't get a match for it when she came back.
No, she hasn't been able to challenge for it again.
Even though she was the champion, the undefeated champion.
Yes, and had not been beat for the belt.
And wrestler of the year, according to one of the major publications.
Tokyo Sports.
Thank you.
Yes.
So all that happens, and what does Tam get?
Squat.
Yeah.
I think Tam has been very focused on rebuilding Cosmic Angels.
She has been, and she's happy as hell when you see them all together.
Oh, she loves it.
Even when they came out on 8-4, it wasn't a dance, but it was a choreographed entrance.
It was.
And
it's a title match.
You can tell Tam just loves having her girls around.
Yes.
She's got the whole thing. People love Cosmic Angels faction. Everything about Cosmic Angels is on point right now.
Yeah.
From them, Cosmic Angels as a faction holding championships, having the developed young lions, if you will.
Yes.
You know,
some of the best.
The best
of the young lions.
Not even some of the best. The best.
Yeah.
Two that I think are out there.
Absolutely.
But we were like, what is Tam? I mean, really going into this 5-star, this was our conversation as the match was starting.
We were talking about this in the context of the Artist of Stardom titles, and if we thought Cosmic Angels was going to win because it didn't really feel like Tam had been all the way there in the title picture recently.
Yeah, and so we were kind of like, I don't know, it's really kind of strange.
Is Tam going by the wayside is what we were wondering.
Yeah, because it's really seemed that way. And what could she do? It would have to be something drastic. It would have to be something crazy, especially when everything right now is centered around Natsupoi and Soriano.
Right.
And boy,
did we get another story entirely. So 8-4 was just a beautiful example of like the perfect way to, I think, introduce our new faction, and it kind of like laid the groundwork for what we're dealing with, which is much different than I think a lot of people were expecting, and a lot of the fears that I saw surrounding Hate as a group. But after Cosmic Angels won the Artist of Stardom Championships, good for them. They pulled them off EXV, which Mina was very upset about.
Very upset.
Very, like, crying about.
I think, as I said then, I think there was more to those tears.
Yes, she just went on about how she's never been able to beat, how EXV hasn't been able to beat Cosmic Angels, how she can't beat Tam, how Tam beat her for the white belt, and then the Cosmic Angels took the Goddess of Stardom titles off of her and Mariah, and now the Artist of Stardom titles, so she feels that she needs to go and get stronger herself. But as Cosmic Angels was set to celebrate this win, once EXV left, Hate decided to make an entrance and attack Cosmic Angels, but not just really Cosmic Angels. Natsukatora specifically went after Tam Nakano.
Yes.
They wrapped the chair around her leg and stomped on it several times, and then Saya Kamitani and Natsukatora cut off Tam Nakano's hair.
Yeah.
Her beautiful purple hair.
Yeah.
They cut it so short. So, needless to say, we'll be getting a brand new look from Tam Nakano going into the 5-Star Grand Prix. But what condition is she going to be in? How's her leg going to look? What attitude is she going to have following this attack? I think it's probably going to make her want to seek some revenge.
We get instant story at the first of every match because of her leg.
Yes.
We
it is
get
perfect target.
Yeah,
for every opponent.
I love when there is some pre-existing.
Yes.
You know, just because you have that battle, can you overcome this? And she was already going to be overcoming some of the trials and tribulations of the past year.
Yes.
But now she has Hate. Pun intended.
Breathing down her neck. And in her heart.
Hate fueling her.
Yes. And very much, like, good for her. Because she should.
It really feels like Hate is against, like, it's like Hate versus Stardom.
Yes, and I think Natsukatora is targeting Tam first because of the fact that Tam never lost the red belt, and she's probably expecting her to come back for it at some point. And maybe that scares Natsukatora to a certain extent.
She's somewhat the face of Stardom right now.
She is, and they just won titles, which I'm sure Hate was not happy about.
Right.
So they're just making their point, and I think that point's going to come back to bite them in the butt, probably.
Yeah, me too.
Because Tam Nakano is not one to be trifled with. When you see her in these singles matches, she's going to beat the crap out of people.
the whole vicious thing we talk about. And selling. We talk about selling. Tam is a murder doll.
Yes.
And I believe that was what we would always, put it, because she looks like she's dead. She looks like she's dead on her cells. And her face swells like bad.
It does. She takes so much damage, but she gives it back.
Oh,
in every match.
Damn it, she gives it back. She get some of her kicks, some of her just off the top. She's amazing. I can't wait. She
absolutely is. I can't wait to see what comes out of this attack and how it fuels her moving forward. But that kind of directly correlates to our next competitor in Red Stars B, Momo Watanabe of Hate in her 8th 5-Star Grand Prix. She was a finalist in 2021, and she's currently a Goddess of Stardom champion alongside Tekla.
Yeah.
So
Momo has found her way back.
Yes.
Another wayward sister that was, what's happened to Momo Watanabe? Poor Momo Watanabe. And we went through this whole thing of, was she going to turn?
Yeah,
against Oedo Tai.
Is she going to join Queen's Quest again and help them win that match against Oedo Tai?
And if everybody remembers, there was little whispers from Momo into Saya Kamitani's ear.
Yes. Just fanning the flames of Saya Kamitani's
But we were thinking
disillusion.
That was about Momo turning and joining Queen's Quest again.
I think that's what everyone thought. That Momo was thinking of going back to the good side.
And then nothing happened on that.
Well, it seemed that it did in the match. Like, she pretended to turn, then she turned back again. Right. It was very confusing.
All the confusing stuff is almost like this big game, as good as Natsukatora with the mystery ink.
Yeah.
It's
been a ride, honestly.
It has. It's been a hell of a story.
Just for a Oedo-tai to fight that hard to keep their faction together, only to disband it themselves. The oldest faction still left in Stardom.
So it's probably the most Oedo-tai thing.
It is.
That Oedo-tai can do.
It's like, haha, we got rid of your faction, but we're also getting rid of ours too, so nothing matters.
Yeah, and creating something, though.
We just did it because we could.
Just creating something better.
They have. They've just completely rewritten themselves.
And it's something that is theirs.
It is. It is. Like from the looks, from the name, from everything, it's completely new and completely terrifying. But Momo's had a hell of a year, okay? She had that 3 stages of hell match with Maika for the World of Stardom Championship. She had that hellacious hardcore match against Dash Chisako.
Which is widely loved.
It was amazing, is why.
Yeah.
And now she's in Hate, and I think she's going to be looking for quite a few points.
And she looks fresh. She's got fresh gear. She's got fresh hair. She's got a fresh reason.
Yeah. I mean, even though Natsuko is waiting at the end of this tournament for the winner, I think Momo's still raring to go.
I'll tell you, when we were in Philly at the Stardom show, when Momo came out, Momo had one of the biggest pops.
Yeah, Momo was so loved in America.
Yeah.
People, I think she was surprised.
Yeah, she smiled.
She was like, oh, hey, okay, I have fans.
Yeah, very, very strange.
Oh, it was amazing. So directly opposing Momo Watanabe, also in Red Stars B, is Azumi of the newly formed Neo Genesis faction.
My favorite story.
Her 6th 5-star Grand Prix. So this has been a crazy year for Azumi as well. She lost her faction in Queen's Quest. Then Saya Kamitani pulled this whole turning to the dark side thing that I think really upset Azumi. And having to face off with her only 1 week before the tournament in the ring seemed to really bother Azumi when they were wrestling. So I don't know how that's going to affect Azumi going into the tournament.
When all this stuff was happening, we were worried about Queen's Quest. Azumi, I remember vividly house shows where she was conflicted.
Yes.
And her standing on the side of the ring. And even when she was an attendant.
Yeah.
Backing up her girls. Just the 1,000-yard stare.
Well, she was very upset, I think, about Saya offering the olive branch to Momo Watanabe, who directly betrayed Azumi when she left Queen's Quest, her longtime tag team partner.
And Azumi should have realistically been the leader of Queen's Quest.
Absolutely. At some point.
Yeah. And, so this is all a big deal for her. And she didn't even join Neo Genesis easily. I mean, it was...
No, she had to take some time to really figure out what she wanted. And I think her respect and love for Starlight Kid really helped her through that. And Miyu being by her side as well. But there's still obvious feelings there from this whole Queen's Quest thing. And now with Saya doing what she did, I think Azumi's very upset and hurt. And she doesn't know what to make of it.
I don't think she believes Saya. It's still, even the other night, it was like Saya played on that.
She's holding out hope that Saya has somehow been tricked into joining Hate and doing all this. And that she can save her from it. But I don't think Saya Kamitani feels that way.
No, even the way she worked it out. I mean, there was a moment in the match where Saya grabbed her arm when they were exchanging. And...
acted like she was going to shake hands.
Yeah.
Like looking at her like in a help me sort of way.
Only to beat on her again. Yeah. It's just...
It's been rough.
Yeah, it's been
Azumi.
rough. But Azumi, I think, when you ring the bell, there's bell to bell. Nobody can keep up with Azumi.
Absolutely not. Like, if you were going to watch somebody's matches for singles matches, Azumi is one of the ones that you don't want to miss.
Here's the thing. Can Azumi overcome the size difference? Can she overcome I'm a high-speed wrestler versus the main eventers?
Right, versus Mayu Iwatani and Tam Nakano and Momo Watanabe.
Even though we know Azumi is that level.
Absolutely we do. And I think Neo Genesis is out to prove that they're on that level.
Yeah.
They're not just high-speed wrestlers.
Right. Agreed.
Speaking of Neo Genesis, the next entrant in Red Stars B is Seira in her very first 5-star Grand Prix as the high-speed champion, which she won from Saya Kamitani on July 28th, right before all the stuff went down.
And again, let's talk about somebody with a weird reaction.
Yeah.
Saya Kamitani almost was like...
It almost seemed like now it's like, did she lose on purpose to get the high-speed title off, like, so she didn't have to worry about it?
Yeah. and it's strange because we noticed the reaction.
We did.
It was very weird, and I don't know.
But May has been doing some big things recently. She's gotten multiple wins over Xena. Like, in matches, she pinned Saya Kamitani, like we talked about. She's coming into this 5-Star Grand Prix with quite a bit of momentum. And she is a high-speed wrestler, but that does not discount her at all.
She very much has the Saki Kashima factor.
She does. She can get you.
Just quickly.
If she hits the rolling star or that checkmate move that she's kind of done the twist on the tequila shot for her own use, like, it's over. You're done.
Yeah, you're done before you even know you've had a 1 count.
I'm so much looking forward to seeing her versus Azumi at some point.
My God.
Because we need it. It's time.
Yeah, with the stakes. That's the thing. All these have stakes.
They do. They do. But it'll be cool to see what she pulls out in her first 5-star. Next, we have Saida in her third 5-star Grand Prix, representing Stars. Saya's been on a heck of a run this year.
She has.
Specifically in tag team action, she's done amazingly well with Hanan as her tag team partner.
Not only in tag team, though.
Not only, like, if you wanted to see a Saida hell of a match, like her and Hazuki versus each other, you just need to find that match and watch it because it was insane how good it was.
It was.
Saya has really stepped it up this year and shown that she can hang with...
She's been given a chance to.
Yeah, like with the people in her generation, like Maika and Saya Kamitani.
The thing I like about Saida is Ida has a uniqueness to her.
She does. She's very unique.
It's very hard in Japan to have a unique to that level, but she has a power group of moves.
Yes.
Even though her size would constitute high speed. Right.
She's a smaller wrestler with all the muscle.
Yeah. So it makes her very hard to prepare for.
Yes.
Because it's unpredictable.
She's Macho Gori-san. There's no preparing.
I love it, and I everybody has a soft spot for Saida.
Yes, and I also am excited for the fact that she'll have multiple opportunities in this block to flex those high-speed muscles that she was working on earlier this year when she decided she needed to maybe try out the high-speed division a little bit, given her size.
I don't know how far she's going to go.
No. She's definitely one of the ones that's like, oh, Saida's going to get 4 points this year.
But if you talk about a spoiler,
yes,
she is one that could beat any of the other girls.
Absolutely. Like, it could happen.
And it's not
you
an
don't
upset,
even see it coming.
Honestly.
No, because Saya wins and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And the final competitor in Red Stars B is Tomoka Inaba in her very first 5-star Grand Prix. Tomoka's from JTO, Just Tap Out, and also a member of God's Eye. She comes in as the Queen of JTO champion, and she's been around the Stardom ring more frequently.
Yes.
Lately. We've seen her in some stellar performances using those kicks to even get pins while she's in there, and she recently challenged for the World of Stardom Championship, which is her only singles loss this year so far.
Yeah, and I mean, and it was great. I mean, she is
top tier.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in that same 2002 year as all the Neo Genesis girls, so it's kind of fun that she's in here mixing it up with some of them.
There's a chance.
I don't know. She's such a good fit for God's Eye. Like, she is. She's top tier God's Eye qualifications there.
She is, and I don't expect. Again, I don't expect her to go to the finals or anything.
No, it's her first year. She's just getting her feet wet, I think.
But I do expect a 4-pointer.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. And when she hits that Tomoka death kick, or however she calls it,
right.
It's scary. She's one of those that you won't see coming. So let's move on to Blue Stars A.
Yes.
Starting with Saori Ano, representing Cosmic Angels in only her second 5-star Grand Prix. And she's carrying the Sendai Girls World Championship into this tournament because she recently lost the Wonder of Stardom Championship to Natsupoi. But Saori Anos's had a busy year, being basically the face of Stardom for quite a long time.
Definitely, because the white belt outshone the red belt.
Yes, she went from being the Wonder of Stardom champion for the entire year, everyone wanting to challenge her, like a laundry list of people, all the way down to like rock bottom when she lost to Mika Iwata, who took the Wonder of Stardom championship from her for a couple of weeks until their rematch in Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling, where Saori was able to win the belt back thanks to the support of her best friend Natsupoi.
And I like to call the Mika Iwata the Raja lost in story moment of the year.
Oh, so good. The whole story's so good. I can't get into depth about it right now, but it was amazing, and I think it really helped Saori Ano like come back to terms with who she is and what she can do in the ring.
She seems like good old Saori right now.
She does, and she's now also the Artist Stardom champion alongside Tam and Natsupoi.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I think she's having a good time.
Saori Ano's one that can go all the way.
I think so too. She could absolutely end up in the final tournament after the tournament.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't be a surprise at all.
Not a bit.
Because she's Saori Ano, and she never quits in the ring.
Oh God!
Like, you can beat on her forever, and she will keep getting up.
She will. She's going to fight till the end.
But she's in one of the hardest blocks, I would say.
The hardest block.
Moving on to Blue Stars A member Syuri, representing God's Eye in her fifth 5-star Grand Prix. And, of course, she was the winner of the 2021 5-star Grand Prix. So she's kind of got that.
She's also the winner of some of the greatest matches in Stardom history.
She is. She's top-tier talent, and everyone loves Syuri. She's like one of the most beloved people.
She comes in
Stardom
to this year with quite a bit of story.
Oh, yeah. She recently was a Goddess of Stardom champion. However, she lost that title when she was turned on by her tag team partner, Konami, who joined Oedo Tai. And that spurned this entire fire under God's Eye, and especially Syuri. And coming into this tournament, we're seeing a very, very dialed in, intense Syuri.
We're seeing the first Syuri that we've seen since the Julia matches.
Oh my God.
In my opinion.
Like, the look on her face on 8-4 when she was talking to Konami, just that straight stare, like, she's scary.
So in a singles match with stakes,
oh God,
we're going to get the Syuri that we've been wanting.
Yes.
Because what we've had with her has been a Kata with the balloons.
Yeah. Basically, she's kind of just been like, I'm taking care of God's Eye, and I love all my friends, and everything's happy.
Anybody who suffered through Okada with his balloon phase,
oh no,
knows what it feels like to have
Pants Okada.
Yeah, Pants Okada. To have this epic wrestler, this epic warrior.
Yes.
Just not really connected.
Yeah, just seeming like they're off in La La Land somewhere.
Playing connect the dots and not, because they're that good.
Yes.
The problem with being incredible is that you can sometimes coast and still be better than the others.
Right.
And I feel that Syuri has been coasting.
She has been. There hasn't been much for her. She hasn't been challenging for any big belts or anything.
And she's not been putting anything. So now she has, like you said, it spurned the betrayal, spurned God's Eye's reignition.
Yes. And definitely Syuri, who I don't think it's going to matter who she's in the ring with. I think she's just out here to prove that she is not weak like Konami says she is. I think she's here to prove that she's still the Syuri of old.
And we used to joke about her taking in strays, and she offered the remaining members of Queen's Quest, she offered them a home in God's Eye.
Yes.
And the thing was, they were still on the fence until this happened with Konami.
Yep.
And Lady C, I'll never forget the backstage promo. She was just spitting fire.
Yeah, yes, you would.
And they definitely just made it official on 8-4.
Yeah.
We are with you.
It kind of makes me sad that neither Hina or Lady C are in the 5-star this year, but it's cool that they're officially God's Eye.
Absolutely. Especially Hina, man.
It looks like Hina makes so much sense. It's so cool.
Hina just looks like, I think if had Hina been around a little bit more this year,
yeah,
she'd be a shoe-in for the 5-star.
Yeah, definitely. And she's currently got her own stuff going on with her sister of the Future of Stardom title. So that's a whole other thing. Moving on to our next competitor, Miss Starlight Kid, representing Neo Genesis, the leader of Neo Genesis.
Also known as John's favorite wrestler.
In her 5th 5-star Grand Prix. She's currently the Spark Joshi champion. And she has a lot riding on her shoulders this year because if we look back at the 2023 5-star Grand Prix, it was not her best performance.
No, it was not.
With a grand total of 4 points.
It was a shock.
It was sad to watch her continually get frustrated and let her feelings get the better of her, which ended up with her constantly losing matches to everyone.
It was a long burn.
And then to not even get Mayu Iwatani versus Starlight Kid after the fact.
Yeah, it was a year that I'd like to forget.
It was bad. So I think she's got a lot to prove this year. She's in a much better place. She's got her new friends, her new faction.
She's a different person.
She's got new gear. She's completely different. She's happy. And I think that's going to come across in her matches. I don't think we're going to see any remnants of that frustration that she had last year.
No, she's positive. She's got, like you said, she's got her friends. She has every reason to win.
Yeah.
And being a faction leader for the first time.
It's a big deal.
You got to win.
Yeah, you got to prove yourself as a leader. It's important.
Because in the Japanese world, a weak faction leader does not stay a faction leader long.
No. I think all of her friends are happy for her regardless, but all 5 members of Neo Genesis are in the 5 stars, so that's pretty interesting. Next, we have Xena in her debut performance in the 5-star Grand Prix representing EXV, and Xena has just shown this year what she can do. She's had that championship match with Maika, but every time she steps into the ring, it's like so exciting. Her performance is amazing, and of course her massive chops are going to be a factor in every single one of these singles matches.
And it's so funny because when Mariah May was here a year ago, we were like, man, they'll never replace. As for the Gaijin, we're never going to replace Mariah.
We'll never get another Mariah May.
Mariah May, who just came out of nowhere, made her name so quickly with just pure talent.
Absolutely.
And thinks she was writing herself, basically, just getting herself over. And then we get Megan Bain.
Which was just insane.
Who did the same damn thing.
Yes.
Out of obscurity, she does the same thing. And not only is she big, but she had incredible matches.
She did.
So then she's gone. We're like, well, listen, there's not even anybody left. Xena had been around, but she was very forgettable at the time. She comes back in and like you said, it started with her chops that we put over like crazy.
Right.
But, chops are chops. That's not everything. It's everything that she has. Yeah. Every big opportunity she has had, she's hit a home run.
Yes, she's smooth. She absolutely dominates when she's in the ring. Like, everything she hits is on point. And this is her big chance to show really all she's learned and everything that she's been able to put together this year.
The thing is, she can win, but she is beatable too.
Yeah, we've seen it happen time and time again. So it really is a 50-50 thing with her in the ring.
It is right now.
I'd love to see her get some major wins in this tournament.
This tournament will probably change her.
I think so. It's definitely a different beast altogether.
Yeah.
Next, we have Koguma from Stars in her 4th 5-star Grand Prix, the bear herself. She was not in last year's 5-star Grand Prix, but she makes her return this year, hoping to get some wins.
I think it's very strange looking at your stats and your beautiful article. One of the things that really stands out is her notable performance.
Yes. In 2022 was the last biggest 5-star before this year. It was 26 people. So she was able to score 14 points in 2022.
It's amazing.
Which is a great score by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But Koguma is not someone to take lightly in the ring. Okay. Like, if you all you have to do is watch her performances with Hazuki as FWC this year to see what she can do in the ring, and her singles match against Hanan leading into their Goddess of Stardom title match was phenomenal. And I expect we're going to see that level of Koguma in this 5-star Grand Prix.
Kuma.
She didn't get a chance to prove herself last year, so I think she's going to be looking to prove why she's supposed to be here.
I think she's, like you like to say, tough out. She's a good hand.
She is, absolutely. She never fails to have a good time and to make sure we have a good time. Next, we have another newcomer to the 5-star and the very first AEW participant of the 5-star Grand Prix, Anna Jay, who was one of the mystery people coming into the 5-star. And for this one, I'm just hoping she puts on a good performance and learns a lot while she's here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Those are my hopes for Anna Jay.
Every time someone comes into Stardom and does a tour, they grow.
They do.
When you come into Stardom and your first opportunities is going to be in the 5-star.
Jeez. I mean, it's different. Like, you could spend 6 months in Stardom only doing multi-mans.
Yeah.
Back-to-back multi-mans, but just multi-mans. This is being thrown directly into the fire.
Yeah, it's scary.
This is 3 weeks of straight singles matches against some of the best in the world.
I can't imagine the pressure. Anna Jay needs to prove herself because she has been lost in the mix in AEW.
She has.
She's been near the top and knocked down, near the top, knocked down, forgot about. Hey, Anna Jay's going to be here, so we can do whatever. It's what it feels like. and you know what? She still doesn't lose the shine with the fans. That's special.
Yeah.
When you can be repackaged, repurposed, be a magician one week and be, Anna JAS the next, and and still
the Queen Slayer or whatever.
Yeah, not be destroyed.
Yeah.
There's something special about you there. So I think this is her chance to find herself. This is Anna's excursion.
It is. And she's recently made friends with Azumi when Azumi came over to America for a few appearances. So she'll probably have a lot of time with Neo Genesis while she's there.
We're behind you, Anna.
Yes, we are. I want nothing more than for Anna Jay to absolutely kick butt in this tournament and then come back to AEW and start kicking butt in AEW.
I love the fact that when you do go on an excursion and you come back, it's expected you're going to be different.
Yes, it's special. So
I'm excited for her to get the praise and get in the dirt sheets and people. I want her to have at least a 4-star match. Like a big 4 to 5-star match that really goes deep.
Yeah.
Has the false finishes, gets us to that point where whether win, lose, or draw, I just want to see those type of events and her get that kind of ring experience.
Yeah. So, you want Mariah May versus Julia.
Yes.
That's all we want. Maybe, this is the block to do it in. She's got Syuri. She's got Starlight. If you're going to do it, this is a great place to do it. Sariano,
and that's a great match for her.
Those are also terrifying matches for her, I think, because it's Syuri and Sariano and Starlight Kid.
Tell you what, man, Anna Jay's a hard-ass hitter.
She is.
So she does not...
She's going to learn so much.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
Finally, the final participant for Blue Stars A is one Miyu Amasaki, member of Neo Genesis, in her debut 5-star Grand Prix, which she had to earn the right to get into. Unlike most of the competitors, she had to win 2 matches over Aya Sakura and Lady C in order to enter the 5-star Grand Prix.
And then Miyu Amasaki just disappeared and a new Miyu Amasaki appeared.
No. Kevin disappeared.
Yes.
And Miyu Amasaki appeared.
Yes, Miyu Amasaki is here.
So she's got this newfound confidence. She's got her new friends, her new faction, and a brand new look with her blonde hair and her teal outfit. She looks like a mermaid. Okay?
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
She is, and she looks like she's having a great time.
She reminds me of a teen movie when I go pick her up and I'm expecting the nerd from science class.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Miyu Amasaki comes down the steps.
And you're like, the music starts playing.
Yeah,
and
there's some, incredible mid-2000 song playing, and
I love those moments.
And here she comes down. I still think Miyu Amasaki trips halfway down.
Oh, absolutely.
But
accidentally DDT somebody.
Yeah, she's gonna DDT 4 or 5 people on the way.
Oh, I'm so excited about this.
You can take the girl out of Kevin.
I thought for sure that Lady C was going to be the one taking this spot because I was like, there's no way they're going to put all 5 members of Neo Genesis in the 5-star Grand Prix. And Lady C has done great this year. But no, here we are. And I am pumped.
I am too.
To see what Miyu's got in this 5-star.
I'll tell you what, though, out of makeovers.
Hers is top tier.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's a good
She's
makeover.
One of the best that we've seen, I think.
No one would even know.
Because she looks completely different.
Yeah.
and it suits her perfectly.
Yeah, it does.
And I love it for her. And I think it's going to help her a lot to be confident in these matches.
She's bouncy now.
She is. I don't know how far it's going to carry her points-wise, but I think she'll put on
look good doing it, baby.
She'll put on a great show.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Blue Stars B, starting off with Suzuki, last year's winner of the 5-star Grand Prix representing Neo Genesis.
Then it all went to shit.
This is actually her third 5-star Grand Prix. And she has a little bit of an edge coming into this. I think she had a 2-month break leading up to this. Now she's in Neo Genesis. She has her new gear. She's feeling herself. And she has a lot to prove being last year's champion. That's like a big chip to carry on your shoulder.
I think that chip was too heavy for those shoulders last year.
Oh, poor nobody expected it, okay? It was completely unexpected for an underdog like Suzuki, who wasn't even a member of a faction or anything, to win the 5-star Grand Prix. So much crap happened last year, okay? It was insane.
It was very much insane. We were totally excited about it because it's
I loved it. I love Suzuki.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've covered Suzuki
in depth.
It's in the archives. I mean, we've done a deep dive on her.
We did her entire story, and it's an amazing story, and I adore her.
Yes,
every bit of her. I think she's going to put on a hell of a performance this year, and she's definitely one to watch because she's got that prestige of being a winner of the 5-star.
We've talked about it for a long time. Suzu is one of those Joshi girls that ends up owning an indie.
Yes, she's definitely going to own an indie one day.
Yeah, it's because she's got that, hey,
she's going to end up with the Jaguar Yokota voice, like coaching all the girls.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't wait. That's where she belongs. So, yeah, she's definitely one to watch in the ring because it's Suzuki. She's crazy. But that being said, speaking of crazy, the next participant in Blue Stars B is one Saya Kamitani.
I love the picture you used.
Of hate in her 5th 5-star Grand Prix, coming into this year with a lot to prove and a lot of baggage on her shoulders.
A little bit.
So Saya Kamitani, last year, she's officially listed as having participated in the 2023 5-star Grand Prix, even though on the first night she injured her elbow on a dive and was completely taken out of the tournament.
I can't believe that's only been a year.
They didn't replace her with anyone, so she just ended up with 0 points in last year's tournament. And following that, when she came back, she seemed to be kind of on a high. She and Utami Hayashishita won the Goddess of Stardom championships, but then everything started kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
She lost her tag team partner, she lost her faction, she lost her high-speed title, and she has lost her mind.
And we only came here to watch her cry.
So, if you haven't been keeping up with Stardom or the things surrounding Stardom recently, Saya Kamitani recently had an incident at an autograph signing where a fan was very mean to her.
Yes.
According to reports, they supposedly bought 10 portraits of Saya just to stand there and say mean things to her the whole time she was signing them and say, "I only came here to see you cry," which was horrible. Absolutely terrible to hear about and read about because who would do that, number one, to anyone? But Saya Kamitani is such a light and like beautiful creature in Stardom and in the world that it boggles the mind.
It does.
To think of doing something like that to her. But she persevered. She was holding the flag of Queen's Quest after being the sole remaining member. She was going to carry it until she could rebuild. She won the Catch the Wave tournament as the sole member of Queen's Quest. And then the Sapporo pay-per-views happened.
Yes.
She promised Maika she would be by her side, cornering her during her match with Natsuko, because they had formed a bit of a friendship. It seemed good. They were like talking about winning the Goddess of Stardom titles together. It was like a brand new chapter for Saya Kamitani. Except we didn't realize how new of a chapter it actually was, because when Maika was about to win the match, Saya Kamitani pulled Daichi, the ref, out of the ring to interrupt the count, and then proceeded to help Natsuko win the match.
Yeah. Screwing
over Maika, and formally joining the newly formed Hate as a bad guy. Just the most despicable character you could think of.
And then we excitedly watched live for the press conference with all the girls to come out and do their thing and talk about the 5-star and Saya.
And then we got Goth Saya.
Yeah.
with the black hair and the black clothes and the jean shorts with the frills on the end.
And the look where she looks at the camera like, what is your problem?
Yes. And the thing with the finger under the eye and like not giving a shit about anything.
Yeah.
And she displayed that same behavior in the match on 8-4. But there's been a lot of contention around this change in Saya Kamitani. People aren't sure like where it came from or what's happening or where it's going to go or why this move was made. And one of the small details that has been brought up is the fact that her new moniker is Phoenix Queen. But Phoenix is spelled Phenex, not with the O in it.
Right.
Or with the I at the end.
And
like
she's
typical.
embracing the hell out of this.
And for those that have looked it up or seen it somewhere, that spelling of Phoenix actually refers to a demon in the Lesser Key of Solomon, who is a demon that takes the kind of bastardized form of a phoenix and sings with this beautiful voice of a child that you're not supposed to listen to the words of and ask it to turn into its human form, where it will teach beautiful poetry and sciences and stuff. And it leads a league of 20 demons. But the one major detail about this demon is that it considers itself, it's kind of repentant because it wants to return to heaven after 1,200 years.
Right.
So in our mind, that kind of tells us that maybe this isn't exactly all it seems it to be on the surface.
I mean, look at everything that has happened. Go all the way back. Mm-hmm. Look at all the things that
all the pieces of the puzzle.
All the things Oedo has done to Saya Kamitani.
Yes.
All the times that, she's been screwed over. She has been less than.
Yes. All the way back to the cage match last year.
I was thinking of the cage match. And, you go back to all these things that have happened, and you just listed everything that's happened to her.
Yes.
Which would drive someone crazy anyway.
Absolutely. She's had a terrible year. Poor thing.
You go back to all the things that have happened. And how can I get revenge on these people, especially when I don't have a team?
Right.
Well, what if you did have a team? Well, what if you were able to get revenge by being inside?
What if you were able to take yourself into hell and work your way back up through hell to heaven, through all of the demons that have plagued you all this time?
And you'd have to turn on your friends. You would have to be convincing.
Yes.
And you would have to go all the way in deep.
Yeah.
To be able to take everything away from Natsukatora.
Oh man. It's such a good story if this is what's happening.
It is.
Just what did Momo Watanabe whisper to her? Is she in on it? Is this a Queen's Quest revival in the making?
Did Momo say, yes, I want to help you, but we have to do it. So you have no idea what you're up against. You have to do it my way.
Right. Is Konami's turn related to this? Like, did she infiltrate Oedo Tai to help in some way?
I think Konami's just an asshole.
It's probably. She's done this before.
Yeah, no, I think the Momo thing does seem like it could be.
It's so interesting because Saya Kamitani's the last person on Earth who has any motivation to join this faction.
She's Sting.
She should hate this faction.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but kind of. Natsukatora has taken everything from her. So what more brilliant way to take everything back from Natsukatora than to destroy her faction from the inside?
And it's the only way. And when I think that you could have dreamed this up is the moment at the press conference when Natsukatora had outsmarted who? Because who did they show the contract to?
Saya.
They showed it to Saya.
Because she was the de facto leader of Queen's Quest.
That's who they showed the damn contract to.
And she didn't notice the little tricky bit.
And she didn't notice the tricky bit. That was when she decided. I
can't wrap my head around, like, do you think this is going to play out in the 5-star? Is she going to make her way to the top to face Natsukatora for the red belt and then reveal her true intentions? Is it going to happen over the course of the tournament? Are we going to have to wait till the end of the year or even longer to see this play out?
I think that we get all the way to the year end.
All the way to the championship match, probably.
Yeah. I think it gets to the championship match, and I think that's where this goes down.
Yeah. So in the 5-star, we'll probably see Saya Kamitani in a bit of a different style than her normal flashy, high-flying sort of stuff. She's going to be very, like, I don't care what I'm doing, and I'll just beat you up. And
Deep cover, man.
Very hate-coded fights for her coming up. But I still think she's going to be very motivated to win. It's underneath.
When this is done, it's already an incredible story.
It is.
And there's so many layers in any story that makes you keep wondering and guessing and doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
There's something good about the story.
Honestly, if Saya just lost her mind and cracked and joined the bad side because everything that happened, it's still cool.
but okay, look at this. Anything that has happened that we've put this elaborate story to, the elaborate story we've come up with has always happened.
It has usually, yes. We're usually pretty.
They've not screwed us over. Like they've not let us down for caring.
Yeah, they've never like done things that don't make sense in the end.
Yeah.
When you get the payoff. So I'm excited to see Saya in this tournament.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a retcon. I think that it's the moment that
you think it's been happening.
I think that she will point to the fact that she was the one that looked at the damn contract, and I think that's when all these things that had happened was just too much.
Right. She just needed to take Natsuko down.
That was it.
Hurt her in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
So, why don't we move on to the next competitor in the 5-star. In Blue Stars B, Miss Hanan, representing Stars. She's in her 3rd 5-star performance. She has only ever scored 6 points. Last year was her best performance in the 5-star, but she won the Cinderella tournament this year.
So Hanan last year turned into Hanan.
Yes.
The Hanan that we know. So you can't really take this. Those 6 points happen because all of a sudden...
Hanan was here.
Yeah. She was born.
Yeah. And then you had her winning matches in the tag team tournament. And then you had her winning the Cinderella tournament and challenging for the Wonder of Stardom championship. She got a pin over Tam Nakano a couple weeks ago.
And most people believed in that tournament, in the belt challenge, that it was going to be Hanan.
Yeah. I even thought that maybe it was Hanan's time.
It was Hanan's time.
Yeah.
And
she's been on a roll.
And it does seem that way, right?
Yeah.
It really does. It did. She's went back and forth since then.
Yes.
But I think easily Hanan could go all the way.
Yeah. I mean, she is undoubtedly one of the future aces of this company. Like, she's just now getting started.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to watch, to see how she's grown and really come into her own. And I think that she's going to make sure people see it in this 5-star.
I would personally like to see her, get 10 points. And
that would be awesome.
Not go all the way.
Right, like a good middle of the road score.
I prefer the long journey for someone.
Yeah, she's the future of Stardom, ace of Stardom.
But I wouldn't be upset.
Me either. Next, we have Saki Kashima representing God's Eye in her 6th 5-star Grand Prix. Her best performance was also in 2022. She scored 12 points. But funny enough, she was in the very first 5-star Grand Prix in 2012, which is crazy to think about. She has been in Stardom basically since the beginning. She took some time off.
Yeah, she took the time off.
Here and there. But she was there at the start.
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of crazy to think about.
It is.
But Saki didn't want to be in this tournament because it's Saki. She's here anyway, and I don't think she's going to be looking to have long matches. She currently owns the fastest 5-star Grand Prix win because she has that Kishikaze that she can throw on someone in 10 seconds and get a pin.
And she does.
There's no getting out of it.
Whether you like it or not, you get the Kishikaze on you.
Yes.
You're
done.
Done.
You can't get out.
So she's going to get some wins.
Absolutely.
But I don't see her, she's a spoiler.
I think the only time that will change is if she gets in the ring with someone from the Hate faction.
Yeah.
We'll probably see Saki Kashima of old.
It's a beautiful fold to her story.
Yes.
Because she's so pissed off.
She's so mad about what Konami did to Syuri.
Yeah.
And what Hate has done to all of Stardom, I think.
Well, it's what happened to her. She was in Oedo Tai and she was thrown away.
Absolutely. She's been dealing with that. Like, even up until recently, she was still afraid of Oedo Tai until this happened, when the person that took her in and took care of her and loved her the most through all of this was attacked and demeaned and turned on. That's what turned off her fear to Oedo Tai. She's like, I'm going to kill them.
Yeah.
They're dead.
So anybody that would have anything negative to say about stories in Stardom, just that.
And the fact that she like intentionally asks Syuri for a piggyback ride because she wants Syuri to know that they're still best friends.
Yeah.
Their love is just so beautiful. I love it so much.
I do too.
That's why you can never beat Syuri, because she has the best people around her, because she takes people in and takes care of them.
Yes.
Konami.
Damn you, Konami.
Next, we have Ranna Yagami, also representing God's Eye, in her very first 5-star Grand Prix. She is the only of the class of Young Lions in the tournament. Because Saori had to miss out on the tournament this year due to injury, she picked Ranna Yagami to take her place, which is a big deal. And probably due in part to her performance in the Catch the Wave tournament, where she went undefeated in the young block competition. She didn't win in the finals, but in block competition, no one was able to beat her.
Yeah, and I think Ami got a lot of respect for Ranna during that time.
Oh, yeah.
And, we've loved Ranna since her debut match.
Yes, we have. She's a little ass kicker.
Yeah.
It's great.
And she really seems like she belongs right off the bat. She got natural ability. She's going to give us some great matches, and I can't wait to see her progress.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be like a trial by fire for her with all these singles matches. I don't expect her to get any wins, but I hope she gets at least one. That's all I hope for. One win for Ranna Yagami.
I'd like to see her get one win.
Like 2 points for Ranna Yagami and we're happy.
Yeah.
Next, we have Tekla representing Hate in her first 5-star Grand Prix. She was supposed to compete in 2022, but she ended up getting hurt before the tournament started and was replaced by Momo Kogo. So this is her very first appearance in the tournament. She's a Goddess of Stardom champion alongside Momo Watanabe. And ever since she came back in April and joined Oedo Tai, she's been a little hateful thing, beating people with belts and just spitting vitriol everywhere.
Tekla is the prime example of the fact that I can still be a mark. Because I hate Tekla.
Oh, she
makes me so mad.
She's so hard to love because she's just so mean to everybody.
She's very talented. She'll probably go pretty deep.
Yeah.
But man, she makes me mad.
She does. And if she gets in there with anyone that she deems an idol, she just goes off the rails.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
I like to call her Babe Kid.
It's hard. It's hard to like her when she hits someone like Sayaka Kurawa with the belt. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just can't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she'll pull out some really, really entertaining performances this year. I hope Saki Kashima kicks her butt, though.
Yeah, I think that'll
for sure.
Yeah.
And finally, the final competitor in the tournament and in Blue Stars B, Risa Sera, representing Prominence. In her second 5-star Grand Prix, she also competed in 2022, where she got 15 points. She's a deathmatch specialist.
Yes.
For those who don't know Risa Sera. And she also has a very deep connection to Suzuki, who's also in this block.
Incredible.
So she has size. She is a big wrestler, and she has the violence to go along with it. So there's no counting her out of any of these
and her
matches.
style is so different. I mean, you mentioned the deathmatch thing. She has a brutal style.
She does.
So she's going to use her strength. She's going to try to use her cunning. But I don't know if she's ready to go very deep. I mean, just because of the way her matches are.
Yeah.
This is different. This is a different cat, man.
Absolutely.
And it's very...
She's going to make it hard for a lot of people.
It's exposing,
It is.
So she's going to have to rely on some of that surprise.
Absolutely. I think she will, too. I don't think people are going to see what she has coming.
Yeah.
So that's all of the participants, all 28. There's so many in the 5-star Grand Prix this year, and every single one of them deserves to be there, and it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
But why don't we talk about the matches that are happening on night one and who we think is going to win? So, night one, August 10th, 2024. We will start off with the Red Star A block matches, beginning with the perfect example of what we were talking about earlier, where sometimes you have to wait until one of these tournaments to see a match. Maika versus Natsupoi.
Yes.
First time singles match, which just boggles the mind to think about because of I mean, how often they've been in the ring together?
You're putting me on.
I'm not putting you on. They have not had a singles match.
Sinbad played Shazam in a movie, right?
But
you giving me one of those freaking mind warps. It seems like they should have faced. And plus, being at the upper echelon of Joshi.
As they are.
Oh, most of the girls have met.
Yeah, they have, and they've had one-on-ones. But this is an interesting match because it's kind of like these two are both coming in a very different, kind of reversed position than they were even a few weeks ago. Maika was the World of Stardom champion and an Artist of Stardom champion. Now she has neither of those belts, and Natsupoi comes in with the Wonder of Stardom championship and one of the Artist of Stardom championships.
Right. Yeah, it's a reverse roles completely.
So their expectations, I think, were totally blown out of the water just in the past couple of weeks heading into this tournament.
It's an interesting matchup, right? Because
it is.
You've got Poi does really well with the stronger style. And she actually does well with that. And of course, she's had to learn how to do well with that. But it's more along the lines of just avoiding the offense and striking, in which she's got some hellacious,
she does.
Iggy thumps.
She's vicious.
Yeah.
So it's a very much one of the sort of speed versus power type of matchups. So if Maika can slow her down, she might be able to get the upper hand.
Right.
But Natsupoi is on a high right now.
You got to look at trends.
Maika has been on the slope down.
She has been, and depending on what the story is, right?
Right.
You got to look at that as well. Sometimes a wrestler may be on a certain trend, but somebody behind that wrestler is probably on that trend too, about that wrestler.
Right.
So,
but it just depends, like, who do you think needs this first win more?
Honestly, I think Natsupoi. I think Poi, on the trajectory she's been on, and everything has been centered around Poi. Don't get it twisted. It's been every story, like we talked before in an earlier episode. Soriano's story is not Soriano's story. It's Natsupoi.
It's been leading us here to this moment.
And when you go back to some of the greatest moments of the last few years, some of the most wonderful moments, some of the most emotional moments, like tear you up moments.
Yeah.
Who's been on the other side of those tears?
Natsupoi.
Yeah. So I really, truly feel that Maika, once again, may come in overconfident.
She might just be completely overlooking Natsupoi or just distracted by everything that's been happening to her recently.
I feel like there has to be something change.
Oh, absolutely.
With Maika, I feel like there's going to have to be... It's almost like we talked about how she acted when she lost.
Yeah.
Both times. It didn't look like someone that just hit a wall.
No. She seems very shocked a lot of the times.
Yeah, it didn't seem like, and this might be that's the best time to strike. I think it's hitters in a hitting slump. That's when you can throw your change up. Right,
and I think it might do Maika some good to lose to Natsupoi and have to be like, okay, what is happening right now?
Exactly.
We know she struggles with the high speed wrestlers anyway.
I think Poi's too tough of an out.
Yeah, normally, especially right now.
If everything had not have happened recently, I would totally think this would have been a tough out. Maika wins.
Right.
Takes a little out of her, but Poi tried her best.
Right. That's usually what you would think, but things have certainly changed.
Like, I really believe like a point or two ahead. Like, that Poi wins this.
Yeah, I think so too. So next in the block, we have another first-time matchup for more obvious reasons, Hazuki versus Manami.
Oh, my God.
And this will definitely be a case of, I think, Hazuki welcoming her to Stardom. Very Welcome to Ring of Honor style.
I was going to say Welcome to Ring of Honor. This has to be I don't want to say it's my most anticipated match, like, of matches.
Right.
But it's my most anticipated match of what fuckery could happen.
I know, because it's such, like, you can't even call it because it's so new and, like, different.
They're both crazy.
They are.
And they're both just honestly, Manami has already just done something with me. And, and I love Hazuki. Yeah. I just think that this one can be incredibly violent.
Yeah, like, talk about a trial by fire. If your like first match in the 5-star Grand Prix is Hazuki, who does not mess around in singles matches.
Yeah.
When she gets in there, she's in there to win.
Yeah, honestly, it's going to be... it's obviously Hazuki.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure Hazuki's going to win this match, but it's going to be a fun time.
She's going to know Manami was there.
Yeah, Manami's not going to go down easy. She's here to prove why she deserves to be here.
Absolutely.
So
it's going to be super entertaining, but I think this is Hazuki in probably like a 4 or 5 minute match.
Yeah, something quick just to show everybody like who Manami is and what's going on here before they move on
super
to the next thing. And the final match for the Red Stars A is Konami versus Ruaka. These two have faced in singles matches twice before, both wins by Konami in really quick matches, which isn't much of a surprise. They were a couple years ago, so Ruaka's still very young at this point.
I honestly feel that we're going to get a finger poke of doom here.
There's always that chance. There's not a lot of that in Stardom. Like usually, even if faction members face, they go at it and try to win. But there's a reason Ruaka was put in this tournament in Natsuko Tora's place. This was supposed to be Konami versus Tora,
right?
To start off the tournament, which would have been crazy.
Yeah, and you're right. This is strategy.
Yeah,
they should be fined for it. and honestly, every member of Hate should be thrown out of the tournament if they do it.
Yeah, if something fishy goes on here, I think it'll you got to call into question what they're doing.
I think at least you disqualify Konami. Like if that would happen,
or at least not give her the points for the match.
That's what I mean. Is just don't give her any points at all and let them learn their lesson. Mm-hmm. But
honestly, though, I think Konami's currently out for blood, and I don't think it's going to matter to her who she's facing.
I disagree. I think that it's going to be. I think they're too anti-establishment right now to care. Right.
So you think it's just going to be a total like...
I do. I don't think we're going to any...
An affront to the 5-star right off the bat.
Yeah.
Just like, we don't care about your traditions.
Tradition, petition. It's not, they're throwing the miso soup out the window on this one.
But either way, Konami probably gets the win in this match. And it would be surprising if Ruaka was the one to come out with the win.
It's totally a Konami kind of day.
On Red Star's B side, we have Mayu Iwatani versus Tam Nakano. Now, these three have faced in singles matches 6 times. In their first 3 matches, Mayu won. And in the last 3 matches they've had, it's been a time limit draw. Tam has never beat Mayu Iwatani one-on-one. And there's another layer to this match because after their recent multi-man match, Mayu Iwatani kind of offered her an IWGP championship shot if she could beat her in the 5-star.
Yeah.
So Tam is out here like she's got a potential title shot for a different title.
I'd be like, thanks, bitch, but I get that anyway if I pin you.
I think it was kind of just Mayu being Mayu.
And I love Mayu. I'm just being funny, obviously. But
Tam's also coming in with a huge chip on her shoulder after that hate attack before the tournament.
And here's the thing, right? After that random act of hate.
Yes.
After that hate crime. There's so many things you can do with that team.
It's so easy.
But after that moment and the new look, Tam's going to have a new look. She
has to.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Right.
Okay, so she's going to come in with a new look and a new attitude. The thing about it is, obviously, we're going to get a stellar match.
Yes. These are 2 of the top talents of Stardom going one-on-one on the first night.
This could be a match of the year candidate right off the bat. So excited about these 2 ladies and their output. It's hard for me to ever say anything against Iwatani in a match.
In a singles match especially.
Even with the stakes on the line. But I honestly feel that if Tam comes, it's what Tam we get from this.
Yeah.
Where do you go after this happens? Well, I think we've already had that answered. After Tam was laying on the mat, instead of just crying and rolling off to the back, covering her head,
right?
She gets the mic and she goes bananas.
Yes, because she's Tam Nakano.
The crowd came up and the crowd was excited and she used that angry Tam voice that you don't get very often.
Yeah.
So I think Tam's going to come in. I think Tam's got a game plan. I think she's focused.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see a very determined, very motivated Tam Nakano, and I don't think she's going to go down, especially without a fight in her first match.
So here's the deal, though. We got the sympathy on Tam, but we got to remember the leg.
Yes. There's always the factor that her leg is hurt.
So I don't know. I still have to go Tam.
I think it would be cool for Tam to get this win over Mayu and go into the tournament with an immediate win. I think it would do a lot for her. Yes, I'm picking Tam. I picked Tam.
Okay. Thought you were going to try to get out of that one there. So
the next match for Red Stars B, Azumi versus Momo Watanabe.
I have to leave now.
These two have faced 10 times in singles matches with 8 wins for Momo, 1 win for Azumi, and 1 draw. So to give you the full story behind this match would take forever because these two have such a long backstory and history together.
I'm waiting.
They were both in Queen's Quest back in the glory days. After Io Shirai left, Momo Watanabe took over the mantle of the leader of Queen's Quest, but she eventually started to get restless and was listening to Starlight Kid talking in her ear, convincing her to join the dark side, which we've seen a lot of recently. And in order to do that, Momo Watanabe chose Azumi to smack over the head with a chair and betray on her way out of Queen's Quest. She's also been instrumental in the destruction of Queen's Quest recently and taking Saya Kamitani, maybe, into hate, which is something that Azumi is very upset about as well. So to see these two sitting next to each other at the press conference for the tournament, just the way Azumi looks on her face, she looks so distraught about all of this, and just having to be that close to Momo just like disgusts her. Yeah. So getting in the ring with her on this first night is just, I think it's going to be electricity and just intense right off the bat.
Hey, this is exactly what Momo Watanabe wants.
Yeah, of course it is. She wants to throw Azumi for a loop and keep her from being able to do her full Azumi in the ring.
Hate, Iwatani, whatever is misdirection and strategy.
Yeah.
So I think the strategy for Azumi is I'm going to come and I'm going to smash her.
I think that's what she wants to do.
But the problem with that is Azumi has, as much as her heart's on her sleeve, she has shown restraint.
She has. She tries to be understanding, I think, even though she's upset.
And she knows what a big deal this is. So I don't know, man. I tell you, she's got to have Neo Genesis behind her.
Yes. And I think Momo could have one major downfall here if she takes Azumi too lightly and maybe continues to look at her kind of like a little sister and like not as serious of a threat as she actually is. So that could potentially be Momo's undoing in this match. However, it's a difficult win for Azumi if she's going to get it.
I don't see it. With all the things, strategy-wise, we were talking about, and everything with Momo as well.
Yeah.
It's Momo freaking Watanabe. I mean, I think Momo wins. I think
such a hard
goes
match
to 9
pick.
wins. 9 wins.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you. I think hate is just too strong and the emotions are just too volatile. I think Azumi's maybe going to let that get the better of her.
And a lot of these, we got to asterisk that we want the other thing to happen.
Yeah, we're not saying what we want to happen.
The fan in us want to see Azumi get her revenge now.
Yes, we're saying what we think is probably going to happen.
But the slow burn of it all.
Yes, and there's totally the potential for something similar to what happened to Starlight Kid last year to happen to Azumi this year because of everything that's surrounding her recently. So she could just completely give in to that hate and anger.
I think the difference is Starlight really didn't have a support group last year.
She didn't, and Azumi has her friends around her, which I think is probably going to benefit her a lot.
I do too.
So, unfortunately, I don't think it'll help her win this match.
I don't either. But at least she'll have somebody to have a drink with after.
The final Red Stars match, we have Seira versus Tomoka Inaba. And this is their first time meeting one-on-one.
This is going to be one of those blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
It could end at any moment. And it's going to be incredible. Honestly, they are so evenly matched.
They are. Like, they're a similar size. They have a similar, like, brutality to them
Right.
when they're in the ring. I think this could be like a sneaky match of the night if we're not
I do too. Cause
careful.
You have high speed versus more of a striking
those
style.
brutal kicks.
So it only takes one, but it only takes 3 seconds as well.
Yes.
So I think, honestly, this is crazy, but I think this is, for me, like a time limit draw.
Oh, you think they're going immediate draw out of the gate?
I think this one could be a draw. It's
very possible.
I just don't. I don't know. It's hard. This one's hard. Like, just picking it straight up.
It is hard. If I was gonna pick someone to win, I would probably go with Seira. I think she's been on
She's the champ.
a run lately. She's the new high speed champion, but she's had some major pins over some big people this year. So I mean,
I
feel like she's in perfect position.
Would Inaba want the high speed title, or could she qualify for that?
I suppose she could. I don't think she's a high-speed wrestler style-wise, but that doesn't mean... I mean, we recently had Saya Kamitani as the high-speed champion, so anything's possible. But
do you want to pick a winner on this?
I think Seira is going to win, personally.
All right. So this is our first split.
Okay.
So I'm going to go draw, and you're going, okay, I got you.
If you've never listened to us before, we often pick very similarly because we have similar ideas about booking and wrestling in general. That brings us to Blue Stars. The first Blue Stars A match is another first time matchup because it's Saori Ano versus Anna Jay. And we talked about Trials by Fire earlier.
yes. Hello, Fire.
This is Anna Jay's first match in Stardom.
Yes.
Her first match in the tournament. And it's against Saori Ano.
It's insane.
Who's no joke in the ring.
Right.
She's focused, brutal, and I think she's going to give Anna Jay quite the welcome into the Stardom ring.
Yeah, I don't see any chance in hell for Anna. And the biggest reason is because she's not on home turf, like you said.
Right.
And she's not used to it.
No.
This is going to be something new, and I believe that she's got to get her footing. I believe she will.
Yeah.
But I believe we're going to be halfway through the tournament before she really gets that footing.
Right, she's got to build up the repertoire in the Stardom ring and like learn how to work with these girls.
The strategy of a match in Stardom. I mean, it's a different beast, and there's a different scheme to it.
Absolutely. So this first match, I think, is going to be her just trying to find her sea legs at this point. Like, she's just in there to be there right now. And Saori Ano is going to probably get a pretty decisive and quick win in this match.
I believe so.
Next, two favorites go head to head when Syuri takes on Starlight Kid. They've faced 2 times in singles matches before. Both wins go to Syuri.
Yes.
And I'm so excited about this match.
Faction leader win against faction leader.
Faction leader versus faction leader. And just the way they're both coming in. We got Starlight Kid coming in on a high, happy, got her friends, her faction. She's ready to go. And then you've got Syuri, who was betrayed by Konami and in this zone of focus, like on the 8-4 show in Hamamatsu when she was talking to Konami, the look on her face, just the straight staring daggers through people. We're going to get a Syuri out of this tournament that's terrifying.
I agree.
And I think Starlight Kid is up for that challenge because it's Starlight Kid and she's one of the best in between the ropes. And Syuri might not go as hard on her as she would.
I don't know.
Someone in perhaps from
the Hate
faction. I think we're
going to have a water boy thing. Syuri's just going to see Konami's face on everyone.
Yeah, I think Syuri's going to come in and try to make it clear what she's here to do. And it's going to be difficult for Starlight Kid to overcome that, I think.
I believe so too.
Because you kind of have to have Syuri come out strong right at first, right? Because of all the things that have happened to her.
No, I get it, and that's the smart pick.
It is.
It's not my pick, but
I know it's not.
It's the smart pick.
If it were up to you, Starlight Kid would win this tournament.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
And but I just can't pick against SLK. I don't have it in me. Her heart is bigger than any fight that Syuri has.
I can't disagree with you. I feel like Syuri needs this win more than Starlight Kid.
I think that SLK needs this win because of last year, and I think that it's owed to her, and I think that she's the face of Stardom, and I think that she's this franchise of the company.
She is,
and I think that she doesn't get that praise quite enough. But when people think of Stardom,
they think of Starlight Kid.
Yeah. So I think that she takes Neogenesis. Mm-hmm. I think she takes the fact that all this is going. She's a faction leader now.
Yeah.
And she's waited for this her entire life.
Yeah.
She's been in Stardom forever. And this is her chance to be that person, to be the main girl, to be the main person in her own faction with her friends.
Right.
She's going to win.
What are the chances that this is a draw?
Damn good.
They can't get one over on
if
each other.
I'm booking this, this is totally a draw.
Yeah, like
just
if it were up to me.
I have those two girls looking at me, and I don't know how many times I've read out a call list in a locker room, so to speak, with who's up.
Right.
You know, and the time, see so-and-so with your finish. I wouldn't want to holler this one out, you know.
It just feels like neither of them can afford to lose here, and it's hard to decide between them. I don't know. I think I might pick this as a draw.
I think you're leaning Syuri.
I am leaning Syuri a little, but I just it's so hard to just decide on one person.
Is this your draw?
This is my draw for night one.
All right. I'll give you that.
And the final Blue Stars A match is Xena versus Miyu Amasaki. Another first time matchups in a singles match. And Miyu Amasaki coming in. They're both in their first 5-star Grand Prix, okay? But they're both also decidedly at different levels.
Yeah.
In their careers and where they currently are in the ring. And I think that's probably going to show in this match.
I think that whole try your best thing I said earlier is going to be totally Miyu Amasaki doing her best.
Yeah, she's going to come in here with her new confidence, her new look and everything, and do her absolute best.
And get it the absolute shit beat out of her.
Oh, poor thing, having to go through this on night one.
Xena's going to win this, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Xena's going to win this match.
Yeah.
She's going to start the tournament off with a bang and show why she deserves to be here, because she absolutely does.
I'm excited about this match, though, just because of seeing...
Yeah.
I think Amasaki, during this tournament, will have one of those tournaments where somebody comes out so much more mature, so much growth.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to do wonders for her.
It's going to be great.
And both of these competitors have really improved over the course of the year and gotten themselves to a place where they're believable 5-star Grand Prix participants.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Absolutely. But I think Xena, Jesus Lord.
So that brings us to Blue Stars B. Starting off with Suzu Suzuki versus Hanan.
My God.
These two have only met once in a singles match where Suzu got the win.
I remember.
In last year's 5-star Grand Prix. So they meet again this year.
It's a different Hanan.
On night one. It's a totally different Hanan.
It's a different Hanan.
Last year's Hanan would look up to this year's Hanan and be like, wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a different Hanan. And I think that Hanan has a lot to prove right now because, you know, after she won Cinderella, she's fumbled.
She has. She didn't win the Wonder of Stardom title, and she kind of started losing matches after that, just out of nowhere. Yeah,
she's definitely, and I think Saya Kamitani in her interview really pointed that out.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe even called her a fallen Cinderella. But she's definitely stumbled up. But it's interesting nonetheless, and because she's a beast, and that's what we talk about all the time with Hanan is she is a machine, and if you don't realize the size,
oh my gosh, she can go. She's powerful, in the ring and determined. She starts crying midway through a match, and you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, okay? it's a hell of a match because Suzu has not had the best year either.
No,
she's had ups and downs, but really with being out a little bit, 2 months. But
she has that title from last year to defend as the 5-star Grand Prix winner.
To prove that it wasn't a fluke, right?
Right.
So you might want to start out of the gate trying to prove that it wasn't a fluke.
Right.
I don't know, though. I can kind of see where Suzu might come back around as it comes and Hanan come in strong.
Right. Like Hanan shoot right out of the gate as a strong competitor, and then Suzu kind of make her way back from all the stuff that she's been through.
Overcome some stuff. I think
she does.
I think Suzu has to overcome some doubts.
Yeah, and it makes me sad this year to like not even really be considering Suzu as a potential winner of the tournament. Ridiculous. Because of how behind her we were last year, but circumstances were different. And this is a different year and a different tournament.
There was a lot of unknown with her last year. There was still a mystery girl thing about her. I mean, they knew her, but at the same time, she was an indie darling, so to speak. And, you know, she was coming in with, you know, the hot moves and the, you know, the brutality, and, you know, people underestimated her. Well, they don't underestimate her now. They know.
Yeah.
And she's also had some really tough times.
She has. And I mean, Hanan's coming into this after recently losing the New Blood tag team titles to her little sister. But she did get that pin over Tam Nakano, which is not a small thing for someone like Hanan. So I could totally see Hanan taking this night one match and just like making a statement like, I beat last year's winner.
Yeah.
Ha.
I personally think that Hanan takes this.
I agree. I think Hanan's going to win this first match. Start off strong. Next, we have Risa Sera versus Saya Kamitani. And this is actually interesting because this is a rubber match for these two from the Catch the Wave tournament, which is where their only other two singles matches took place.
Right.
And at the end of the block, Risa Sera defeated Saya Kamitani, making them tie in points. So in the following match, Saya Kamitani beat Risa Sera to win the block.
Right.
And go on to eventually win the Catch the Wave tournament. So they're 1-1.
Yes.
Against each other in singles matches, which I think is why this match probably got bumped to night one between these two. And it's also so interesting because this is a different Saya Kamitani than even those two matches a month ago.
Right.
And it's going to be our resident deathmatch specialist against the new dark Phoenix Queen variety of Saya Kamitani.
I don't think that Risa Sera has a chance in hell.
It would be difficult to pick against Saya Kamitani this early in the tournament and in this match.
It would have been hard to pick against her anyway.
Yeah.
But now?
And this definitely, it's a match with flavor for night one. Like, I don't think Risa Sera is going to go down without a hell of a fight.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a fight, but I just don't think that, I don't know. I don't think Hate's going to let it happen.
No, I don't think I don't think Saya's going to go down here. I think Saya definitely gets the win. If it might be by nefarious purposes.
Like, Saya Kamitani was hard to beat using the rules.
Yeah, she was.
Breaking the rules, it's going to be hard to beat Saya Kamitani.
I hope that they don't go the interference or weapon route, but you can't rule that out with this group.
Yeah.
And especially with Saya and her new I don't care
I would much
attitude.
rather have Continental Classic rules.
Yes, me too. Nobody allowed at ringside.
One thing beautiful about the Continental Classic was it's got to be clean.
Yeah. I think this match is going to be super hard hitting and probably near the end of the night or maybe the main event even.
It's going to be up there.
It'll be so fun though.
It will. I can't wait.
I think Saya's going to take it.
I do too.
And the final match for night number one of block action in Blue Stars B is Saki Kashima versus Ranna Yagami. And these two faced once when Ranna was going through her singles matches with the entire God's Eye stable, and Saki won that match, of course. And this will give us a look at what Saki Kashima decides to do in the tournament, if she's going to take every match seriously or if she's just going to try the quick method of rolling people up and getting the fast win.
I mean, that's taking it serious for her.
When she's not facing off against someone from Hate.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to run from Ranna Yagami by any means.
No.
They're in the same faction. She knows her. And Ranna's a rookie. She's one of the young girls. So I think Saki's probably just going to try to get in there, finish the match, and get out as fast as possible.
I think Saki Kashima wins this in under 2 minutes.
Yeah. It would be beautiful to have Saki Kashima even beat her fastest pin record like night one, just in and out in 5 seconds or whatever.
I see this going early and being a straight up pinfall win.
Absolutely. So that's all the block matches for night number 1.
Yeah.
Some stellar matches.
Stellar.
To start us off. There are 2 other matches on the card because there are 7 people in each block. Not everyone's going to have a block match every single night because they can only do 6 matches or 3 matches from the block with 6 competitors.
Right.
So the other 2 matches are Saida, Momo Kogo, and Koguma versus Hina, Lady C, and Rion. And then an 8-man where Waka Tsukiyama, Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara take on Natsuko, Tekla, Rina, and Fukigen Death.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, so those are to be 2 fun matches, probably one kicking off the night, maybe one like halfway through the night.
Break it up a bit.
To break up the block matches a little. So this next part about who has the most winning potential, you don't know who I put down for this because this was all me.
Yeah.
But we'll see if you agree with who I picked. I picked 5 people that I think have the most potential to win the 5-Star Grand Prix this year, starting with the obvious choice, Saya Kamitani.
Oh.
And this is due to... I thought that Saya Kamitani had the best winning potential to win before this whole hate thing happened.
Right.
Because she missed out on last year's tournament.
Totally agree.
And there was that whole thing with fighting her way back to the top, beating out the Oedo Tai members and getting to the red belt and staking her claim to the top of Stardom where she arguably belongs.
Right.
Now, I think that she has an even stronger case for herself because she has a new, unexpected style. People are going to be wondering how they can beat her. She's probably going to cheat in some matches. And if this is a thing where she is trying to destroy hate, and now that Natsuko is the red belt winner and she's not even in the tournament, the only way to get to her would be to win the tournament and face her at the end of the year for the red belt.
Right.
So I think there's a very, very compelling case that Saya Kamitani wins this year.
No, I'm totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. And I mean, she's got all the reasons as you listed. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the momentum, really.
Yes, she comes into this with all the momentum in the world. And I would probably stop there, but I did pick more people.
Yes.
My next pick is Tam Nakano. Maybe for the only reason being that she has never won the 5-Star Grand Prix before, which just drives me crazy to think about that she's never been in that place. But also this new attack from hate and the presumably new Tam Nakano that we're going to be getting.
Right.
She has the vitriol and fire behind her to push her all the way to the end of the tournament if she uses it right.
Yeah, you never want to give someone a reason.
Absolutely not, because they'll use it against you.
Yeah, it gives them the bulletin board material.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tam is such a good wrestler, so her winning enough matches to make it to the win wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, not at all.
My next pick is Maika, who was in the finals last year. And last year, she predicted that she and Suzu would meet in the finals of the 5-Star Grand Prix. And they did.
Right.
This year, she promised Saya Kamitani that they would meet in the finals. So is there a chance that that's going to happen? Is Maika's vision going to come true for a second time?
You got to look at all what happened and what Saya cost her. And
exactly.
What a story that is.
And I'm sure she wants to get back at Natsuko and get that red belt back more than anyone. So she has the power and the ability to get to the end of the tournament.
It's a hell of a story, pal. I like it.
Next, my pick is Mayu Iwatani, because it's Mayu Iwatani.
Right.
You can never count her out to get to the end of a tournament and come out as the winner.
I mean, I think that she has been kind of like we were talking with Tam the other night. Mm-hmm. She's got a belt, all that good stuff, leads a faction, but she's been out of the story.
Yeah, and if anyone was going to be the first ever 2-time winner of the 5-Star Grand Prix, Mayu Iwatani would be my pick for that.
Yeah, agreed.
And finally, Starlight Kid, because she's a brand new faction leader. She has her team behind her. She's happy. She's ready to go. She's fresh. And what better way to capitalize on all that than to win the 5-Star Grand Prix? So
what's funny is as we were going through every competitor in the 5-Star, I too was taking notes the entire time and was putting out my people person by person, match by match, who I thought would be the ones at the end that could potentially be the winners. And it's funny because it's in front of you. You can see where I've written.
Oh, yeah. Okay? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So I've been doing this the whole time.
Okay.
So I have Tam.
Okay. Tam.
I have SLK.
Oh, look at that.
I have Mayu Iwatani. I have Syuri.
Oh, Syuri, yes.
And I have Saya Kamitani.
Oh, wow. So we were only one off from each other. I picked Maika instead of Syuri. You
picked one story, I picked the other.
Yeah, which are both equally believable.
I mean, equal stories, really.
Yeah.
But
Syuri back in the red belt picture would be magnificent.
And I think that was the fan in me, was wanting to see Syuri in that Julia time.
Yeah.
In the time limit draw, in the,
that's when she thrives.
Yeah, just that I don't give a damn, I'm the bitch, come at me.
Yeah, I love seeing Syuri like that. That's when she's at her absolute best.
If I could see her not smile for a month, just focused. And
there's every opportunity that she'll be in at least the after tournament.
I will say this much.
Heading for the top.
Your story makes more sense.
I mean, with the who's holding the red belt currently, that's kind of what I based it on.
But Tam, my alternates were Poi and Hanan.
Yeah, they are two very strong competitors that could easily sneak their way to the top.
It's insane. It's insane how much talent is in this tournament.
There's so many people that could win it, and I would go, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, we're going to be the ones spoiled with this.
I know.
Because we're going to get nothing but incredible matches, incredible stories for the rest of the year.
So before we wrap up this preview, I just wanted to give you a few little fun facts. Tidbits. So, fun facts about this year's tournament in particular. With 28 participants, it's the largest 5-star Grand Prix to date. This is only the second time in the history of the 5-star that the World of Stardom champion is not competing.
Crazy.
The first time was in 2015 when Meiko Satomura was the red belt champion.
I wish Meiko Satomura was the red belt champion right now.
There are 9 people making their debut in this year's tournament, and it's the first year for AEW participation.
Right.
Which is, I hope it's not the last.
Me too.
I hope this is a thing that continues.
And bigger.
There are 3 former winners, Mayu Iwatani, Syuri, and Suzuki, and 4 former finalists, Tam Nakano, Konami, Momo Watanabe, and Maika in this year's tournament.
Wow.
And this is the first time that the 5-star Grand Prix has been split into 4 different blocks.
Right.
So, some fun facts about the 5-star as a whole. In the 12 previous years that we've held this tournament, there's never been a 2-time winner. Toni Storm is the only wrestler in Stardom's history to win the Cinderella tournament and the 5-star Grand Prix in the same year, and she's also the only foreigner to have ever won the 5-star Grand Prix.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change this year.
No, me either. Only 4 out of the 12 previous winners have gone on to win the championship that they decided to challenge for.
That's a crazy number.
Yeah, that's a very low statistic.
That's not a very King of the Ring number.
No, that's only a third of the people.
That's crazy.
10 of the winners have challenged for the World of Stardom Championship, but in 2014, Io Shirai used her win to challenge for the Goddess of Stardom Championships. And in 2018, Mayu Iwatani used her win to challenge for the Wonder of Stardom Championship.
That's wild.
So that's possible. Yeah. You don't have to challenge for the red belt. I think whoever wins this year probably will.
I wouldn't. I would challenge for the white belt. I'm a white belt kind of guy.
Other than the very first tournament where it was everyone's first time, there's only been one other person who won the 5-star in their first year of participation, and that was in 2016. It was Yoko Bito.
Yes.
And Mayu Iwatani has participated in the most tournaments, and this year being her 11th. And the other 2 that follow that are Tam Nakano and Momo Watanabe, this being their 8th year of competition in the 5-star Grand Prix. So, are you excited?
The excitement, pal, let me tell you.
Oh, man. It's palpable.
It is. I can taste it. I could cut it with a knife.
Oh, and it starts so soon.
I could cut the circle out in front of you right now and pull it out like a piece of glass.
It literally starts in just a few days.
I
know.
That's
insane to think about. That in just a few days, we're going to have 3 weeks of the most insane competition that Stardom has to offer.
It's amazing.
I'm so excited. And if you're excited, like we are, then I encourage you to go to wrestlingisher.com, look at the preview article, download the brackets, fill them out. At the bottom of the article, there's a full schedule for every night of 5-star competition, including the times that they start in both Japanese time and Eastern Standard Time for our American friends.
But real quick, we gave 5 people that could win it.
Yes.
On the count of 3, I want us both to say who's going to win the 5-star Grand Prix. 1, 2, 3.
Saya Kamitani. Yeah, I think it feels almost inevitable at this point.
It does.
Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe it won't happen.
I'll be pleasantly surprised, I'm sure. Either way.
But it feels like her year.
It does.
And I'm excited to see how it comes about.
I'm excited to see the journey. That's the fun part.
Oh, I'm so excited. And you're going to want to keep following us because we're going to watch all of these events live.
Yes.
We're going to tweet all these events live at Wrestling Is Her on X. We're also going to be covering each event as they happen. Like the day after, you'll get a roundup of the show and what happened and an update on the points and everything. So make sure you're keeping up with us because we're going to help you keep up with the 5-star Grand Prix.
We are going to not sleep for a month.
Yeah. 3 weeks of no sleep.
All on purpose.
And it's going to be the best 3 weeks of the entire year.
Never
I guarantee it. So thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the 5-star Grand Prix 2024. We hope you're excited as we are. And that leaves us with me being Raja and you being John. And thank you for listening to Wrestling Is Her. Bye.
Bye.